I haven't hardly looked at the charts. My apologies, but I'm looking at NQ now, and I'm thinking, wow, there's nothing for setups. The order prints is getting few and far between. There's no X boxes. And then I glanced up at the order prints, and it's like, oh, they're all single digits. No wonder there's no order prints. The thing about order prints is kind of cool that when the conditions really suck and you don't want to take a trade, because of general overall market conditions, there generally will not be a lot of setups. I'm not saying when there are, they're all going to work, nothing like that. But like right now, the volume in there in NQ, for example, is pretty low. There's all single digits in those order print bars. So when there's single digits in like every cell, that means there is not a lot of orders in there, and you can easily, if you get into one, you can easily get your stop skipped. You can get your target skipped, and it's painful. It's happened to me a lot of times. I mean, it took me a while to figure this out, to learn that, hey, when that happens, don't trade. So it's interesting on order print that when they are not setting up, hardly at all. I mean, there's like no X boxes, almost none. I see on my screen right now, on my chart, I see one on the whole chart in NQ. And, and it's a pretty good thing, because if you look at the order print bars, there is, 0, 2, 0, 1, 1, 2, 0, 4 in one bar. That's all. There's like no liquidity. So NQ is not right now a place you'd want to be trading unless you're trading Simplicity and you get a really good one. Yep, that's fine. Simplicity, I'm definitely not talking about, because you expect bigger targets, and it's not like you just want to get your scalp and get out. I'm talking about for sniper. You have to be watching the numbers in the bars on order prints in order to have your orders picked up, have your stops respected, and your take profits taking profit. It's not any numbers above it. It's not anything else. It's not the number above the numbers in the boxes above the bars. It's the numbers in the cell. That's what you have to watch. That's why I always keep an order print with, I literally, that's my order print chart. One day that I've loaded, and I have 2 bars showing. That's all I need. Are there good numbers I like to see on the order print chart? I just like them to have a few orders in there, a few numbers. I mean, I like them to be, so you've got several cells, at least several that are in their teens. I don't want to see a whole bunch of zeros, ones, 2, 3. The more single digits that are in that bar, the less I like it. Then I just don't even bother trading. When you get a bunch of double digits, you got a better chance of getting in there. So is there a specific? No, that varies by market. ES is going to have a lot more. I don't know exactly what what the ES has a lot more liquidity in it than any other market. Literally any other market. So I don't know I don't watch it, so I don't personally know what numbers would be considered small for ES. Do you guys kind of get that? Why? I mean, order print chart is just a good rule of thumb to look at. You can tell at a glance if you've got low liquidity. And there are times when it's just not good to trade. I mean, at least if they're getting, closer to the teens, it's a little bit better. But when there's a lot of 1s and 0s, 2s and 3s, yeah, no, you're not going to get anywhere. So that doesn't apply quite as much in Simplicity, because you're doing a market order. You're saying, get me in wherever you can. And so if it doesn't move too fast past that, you're going to get in at a reasonable place. And you're going for a lot more ticks. Where in Sniper, every tick counts, You're only going for 9, so you want to get as many of those 9 as you can. This is really a good lesson in why sometimes your orders don't get copied. Peter said it seems to depend on liquidity, how you get executed in the new trade copier. Every trade using the copier or not depends on liquidity. So every single trade depends on liquidity. Sometimes you'll get skipped. You know, I mean, how many times have I said, oh, it skipped me, I didn't get in that one. Well, that's because of the liquidity. It moved before my order was filled. It happens. That's trading. A lot of, like, if you had, imagine if you had, say you had the copier going, okay, and you were copying, you had 1 follower and 10 contracts, 10 followers, 1 leader and 10 followers, sorry. When you're looking at that, do you think they're going to all get filled? And I mean, looking at that, does it make sense why the copier does not always fill your orders? They don't just automatically get filled. It's not how the market works. So when you see those low numbers in that bar, they are going to get skipped. If you have a, you know, you're trying to copy 10, but there's only 2 that are getting filled, you're not going to get copied. It's not an automatic thing. It's not anything to do with the copier. It's not a problem that the copier doesn't work right. It's that the market is not giving you what you need in order to get, the orders just are not there. Just because you say copy this trade does not mean it gets copied. Just because you put an order in, even if it's one single order with quantity of 1 contract, if you're in the line, you're in the queue, and you're not the first or the second or the third, which, come on, this is trading. There's thousands of people out there trading, hundreds of thousands, and you're probably not going to be first in the queue to get filled. So when you see numbers like that, you're not probably going to get filled. So people understand why they're not getting filled, why the copier is not copying all their trades, why it becomes unsynced, and, well, it stopped it, you know, it went the wrong way. They used to do that. The old one would go the wrong way because there's just not the orders to get your entry in, and then when it goes and does try to take profit or stop out, it's going to trigger your trade the other direction. Well, the new copier avoids that if it is within 3 seconds. It'll shut it off and it won't allow it to happen. But, you know, people don't quite get that. So it's really, really important to understand how the trading works and why you're not getting filled. Yeah, you get desynced for these very reasons. When you're on the copier, when you're using the copier, and everybody's getting, I mean, I have traded in circumstances like we are right now in NQ, where the numbers are very low, but I saw a really good setup. I mean, it was one that just was calling my name, and I had to take it, and I lost. The trade won, but I lost because it did not execute my take profit. And then it turned around, and before I could get the trade off, turned around, it basically turned and burned and went the other way and stopped me out. And I've had them where they missed the stop also and just kept going. So, and you lose more than you care to. Then you got to flatten all, and it's just a mess. But what I'm saying is when you have conditions like right now we have an NQ, right at this very moment, where there are a lot of single digits, that kind of stuff's going to happen, and you have to expect it. It's no error. There's not a problem anywhere, except there's just not liquidity in the market. Do you guys kind of see why? I mean, everybody blames it on the copier. Oh, it didn't get filled. Oh, 1 contract got filled. Oh, only 2 leaders got filled, or only 2 followers got filled. You know, why is this? Something's wrong with the copier. No, it's not. Copier's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. the market's not cooperating, which that is what happens in a live market. And we have to deal with it. If you don't like it, go find a job doing something else.
Or trade a different market.
Trade a different market, that could work.